right, guys. Belt line is good right here at the top of the letters. Belt line is good halfway up the waistband, all right? You guys both receive my instructions in the dressing room, so you know what I expect. Obey my commands, protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves, God bless you both.
So we're set to go in this battle of very big heavyweights, with Pryce Taylor taking on Michael Polite-Coffie. Taylor coming in off that win over Robert Sims, which was a decision win, and some criticized him for paying more attention to the crowd than to Sims. He said he wasn't frustrated, he was just doing that to get Sims off his game to try and get a knockout. But in any case, it wasn't his most impressive performance yet as a pro. He'd like to improve on that. He said a leg injury has prevented him from running, but now he has been running, and he said we'll see better movement from him in the ring.
Yeah, he did say he's going to be more on his toes. So far, he's applying the pressure on Coffie. And if I was him, he's doing the right thing. I mean, Coffie been out for 2 years, a long layoff, right? And due to elbow injuries and weight that he gained. So
he's working that jab nicely down to the chest, to the stomach, fainting with it.
Coffie was once 12-0, right where Parker was, and then things went off the rail a little bit for him as a professional. But he showed in the Wardley fight he can fight with good heavyweights. He had some good moments in that fight, and the stoppage of that fight by Howard Foster, who is typically an atrocious referee at stopping fights, it was way too early to stop it.
Wouldn't be the first time for us.
No, you've seen Howard Foster work, the worst referee perhaps in boxing. Did I say that? No.
I didn't hear anything.
Halfway through round number 1.
Tell you what, Al, lately you've been up in your game, you know, when you say stuff like that. I didn't know Al had that in him.
I know, shocking, right?
You've been in this business enough years as Al. You're tired of pulling punches.
More than halfway through this round, it's been a slow round. Both men kind of trying to figure out what they can do offensively. There's the jab from Pryce Taylor. He has a good one when he uses it.
Yeah, Pryce Taylor has been dictating on the jab in this round, and it's setting up that lead hook there that gets followed up with a nice combination. Again, you can disguise a lot of things once your jab is working.
The uppercut by Taylor landed as well. Now, these two men battled each other in the Team Combat League, where you fight one round against each other at a time, and they split the 2 rounds that they fought, so they were pretty equal in that. Good work downstairs by Coffie.
A bit of a grudge match then here.
Yeah.
Nice right hand there by Taylor.
And Coffie told us, I am going to try to go to the body. That is a big part of my game plan, and he was able to do it there. But Taylor now in most of this round has dictated the pace.
Yeah, I love the way he's using his jab. You know, he's really setting up his combinations. You know, the way he stabs the jab to the stomach, comes back up, and then he throws a 3-4 punch combination.
So round 1 coming to a conclusion in this heavyweight encounter. Pryce Taylor in his corner, the 29-year-old from Brooklyn who was an amateur standout. Had himself a very good first round.
Let's go. Let's take tsunami.
We head into round 2 of the scheduled 8-round heavyweight encounter. Michael Polite-Coffie, the man in the white and black trunks, a 39-year-old, fighting for the first time in 2 years. And Pryce Taylor, as I mentioned, the 29-year-old. Michael Polite-Coffie was a Marine. was in Afghanistan. He couldn't box in the Marines. They didn't let him do it, but he boxed afterwards. A friend of his signed him up for a Golden Gloves tournament without telling him. He had never boxed, and he ended up winning the novice tournament. So right now, though, things are not going as well for him because Pryce Taylor is taking him to school with a lot of big power punches.
Yeah, Taylor putting the punches together now. Good combination there. Coffie, obviously a vet, he knows how to survive and get those hands up, and he's trying to get that high guard and trying to walk Taylor down, but Taylor is really being creative with the way he's placing his punches.
Coffie said he thought he could take Pryce into the last 3 or 4 rounds of this fight and take him into deep water, but he is getting hit with big shots.
Yeah, that's a lot of good activity by Taylor. I mean, everything he said he was going to do, he's been doing. You know, he's been stabbing in the body, you know, good body shots, you know, he's staying active. You know, he said he was going to chop down the tree, and that's exactly what he's doing. I don't know if Coffee's going to be able to take more rounds. Like, I mean, like how many rounds can you take like that? I mean, as the fight goes, he's not really punching back that much.
Coffee, a couple of jabs there. That's probably, he could probably do that. He'd probably stay a little busy with that jab, keep it in Pryce's face. You know, they say jab with a jab or no hook with a hooker. So you can get Coffee, maybe you get a little bit more active on the jab, put it in Pryce's face as well.
Yeah, but the difference is, you know, just Taylor's, you know, faster with his hands.
Taylor
landed
all kinds of combinations, and Coffie has done nothing offensively here. And referee Rodriguez taking a long look at him, saying, you know, is he going to respond? Certainly not at the point where we'd want to stop this fight, but there's a lot being dished out by Pryce Taylor right now.
A lot of them are arm punches, though, guys. A lot of what Taylor's doing. Good body shot there by Coffie.
Yeah, I think Taylor's just, you know, set him up for something bigger. You know, like you said, Paulie, arm punches, just you know, finding the time in the range, and you know, as the fight goes on, you'll start turning the shots more, and you know, change the speeds of the combination. You throw 3 or 4 punches, then you land a hard shot out of nowhere. You know, and I think that, you know, Taylor has the talent to do that.
Good right hand by Coffie, though. He kind of got snuck one in there. Coffie looks very labored in his breathing and a little bit tired right now.
Little slap there by the trainer. You saw that. I think Taylor's doing great, man. He's 2 dominant rounds, very busy, active.
That's 29-year-old Pryce Taylor from Brooklyn, New York. Came in here 9-0 with 6 knockouts, having beaten Robert Sims by decision in his last fight, taking on Michael Polite-Coffie, a veteran who's 13-5, 39 years old, but Coffie off a 2-year layoff. And so far, ring rust and maybe conditioning issues have shown from Michael Polite-Coffie.
Yeah, most definitely. And, you know, it's also the movement and, you know, the speed that Taylor is giving him. You know, he's giving him different looks, throwing from different angles, the way he stabs to the body. And he's fast. You know, he's a lot faster. You know, you see the speed of Taylor, Pryce Taylor. And he's just being more active with his combinations now.
You know, 2 years off, this is a very different Coffie than the video against Fabio Wardley showed, where he was really kind of in that fight competing. Right. Here, not so much tonight.
Well, not only 2 years off, but remember we talked about the weight, you know, and he didn't want to talk about the weight because we asked him, was it over 300 pounds? He said, oh, yeah, way over 300 pounds. So yeah, it's not only the 2-year layoff, getting down from maybe, you know, mid-300s. Who knows?
Yeah, it's a big issue.
Yeah.
Just about halfway through round number 3 in this scheduled 8-rounder, and so far Pryce Taylor in the red trunks has had things mostly his own way, though he's slowing down his attack a little bit now.
Coffie, this is a chance for Coffie to try to take the advantage here with the jab, or at least try to push back a little bit against Taylor, because otherwise you're going to let Taylor regroup. He'll just get back on what he's doing before once he does regroup. That's what I like Coffie trying to make the attempts now. Oh, good shot there.
Oh, another
There's
one.
Coffie coming back now. Well, this is the power that he displayed against Wardley and in some of his other fights. He's got 10 knockouts.
And that's what he's got to do. He's got to take, you know, you can't let Taylor, the younger Taylor, feel too confident in his ability to just think he's going to dictate the way this fight's going to go and rest when he wants to and fight when he wants to. You start taking the fight to Taylor and you start letting him realize you're not going to rest when you want to. Well, I'm going to dictate some of this, and that's what he's doing now.
And here's Coffie pushing forward, takes a big right hand from Taylor, but he is trying to come forward in this round after changing the tenor of this fight a little bit.
Yeah, Taylor changed that up with that counter right hand over the top of the Coffie jab.
Under a half minute left to go here in round number 3. And while Pryce Taylor has dominated most of this fight, some good moments for Coffie here in this round.
Yeah, Taylor better pick up that jab hand because, you know, Coffie's, you know, he's got a good right hand. He landed it and, you know, he pushed him back. It was a good power shot. So
Coffie may have won this round, guys.
So perceptible change in this fight here in round number 3, and a pretty good round for Michael Coffie. Well, the new year kicks off in explosive fashion on DAZN as Most Valuable Promotions returns to Puerto Rico. A late change of opponents sees the hard-hitting Reina Tellez stepping in for Erica Cruz, and she's going to take on the future Hall of Famer Amanda Serrano. Also, Stephanie Hahn defends her title against legendary woman boxer Holly Holmes, who has come back to the sport from mixed martial arts, and she is seeking another world title at age 43. Some questions being asked of that young man by Michael Coffie.
we see Taylor, you know, getting a little the best of him at times, you know, but that's that big right hand that Coffie landed. So Taylor's got to be careful in this round. He's got to keep that jab hand up and can't sleep on Coffie from what I saw in the last round, Al.
Yep, so Pryce Taylor, who's been active this year, this is his 5th fight as a professional as opposed to Coffie, who he mentioned is coming in off a big layoff. But right now, here in round number 4, kind of a seminal moment in the fight for Taylor as Coffie stunned him with a couple of punches in the last round.
Oh, nice shot there with Taylor. Taylor trying to explode again.
And Coffie kind of ceded the advantage to Taylor, and he has taken advantage of it. But you get the feeling Coffie is still measured in his approach and still sees some opportunities here.
You got to keep in mind, Coffie is 39 years old, so he's a little older. He tries to probably fight in spots.
Yep.
And every once in a while, he lets Taylor know that, you know, he's around and he's lively and he can be dangerous. Some good shots there. That hurt.
Oh, wow.
Oh, now he's trying to show possum.
He might be showing off, but Taylor got Coffie got a good punch in.
He got me with that one.
Big shots, though, by Taylor, responding with good hand speed. The edge in hand speed certainly goes to Pryce Taylor.
Hammer punch there.
Yeah. Warning from referee Rodriguez. We're about halfway through what has been an interesting 4th round. Each man has landed some good power punches. Taylor more volume.
Yeah, so far I think it's, you know, just the speed that Taylor has, that's been more the difference. Been busier with his hands too, but he's not on his toes. Like, I think if he was more on his toes, it'll allow him to move more and throw combinations from different angles. He said he was going to be more on his toes, you know.
Yeah, but not so much.
He's been more flat-footed, but I think, you know, just being more on the heels, probably, you know, you let more, you know, he's got the speed to let the combinations go.
Is the extra blubber prevent him from being on his toes, maybe?
I don't know.
It could be a little less soft, I guess, you know?
Yeah, and he was talking to Coffie. He's been carrying on a conversation during this round. trying to use some bravado. And Coffie kind of responding to him. Both men have interesting personalities, each very, very different. Coffie working the body. Coffie is a good body puncher, but has used that weapon sparingly, and he wanted to use it a lot more coming into this fight. As we head into the final seconds of this fight and head toward the halfway point in what's been an interesting heavyweight encounter between the young 29-year-old Taylor and the 39-year-old William Coffie. Or Michael Coffie, excuse me.
Low blow.
At the bell, a blow that appeared to go below the belt was landed, but Taylor will obviously have this minute to recoup because it's in between rounds.
Here we see Coffie landing that big right hand. He set it up with the jab. That was beautiful. Trust me, it caught Taylor's attention. He was trying to play it off. He needs more of that. And here's with a nice uppercuts, good inside work there. There's the low blow. I think he. I don't think he meant it. I think it was accidental.
Yeah, it was right on the belt line.
Yeah.
So we're headed into round 5. We've reached the halfway mark of this 8-rounder, and now this is the part of the fight where, astonishingly, 39-year-old Coffie thought he could have the advantage because he didn't know about Taylor's endurance, and he feels like sometimes in later rounds he was hoping a Wardley fight would go longer so he could get to him later. We'll see if that is the case. Right now, Taylor, other than that big right hand, has been controlling things. But yeah, Coffie comes up with some good jabs there, and he is dangerous still in this fight.
Wait, is Coffee going to say that he was playing possum for the first half of the fight, Al?
I don't know, but
unless he's trying to bait him in, trying to bait Taylor and land that right hand. But
well, he alluded to that with us, but whether that's really the case or not remains to be seen. We're going to find out here in the next round or two. Big left hook by Coffie on the inside, and now he comes alive offensively for his momentary anyway. As Paulie pointed out, it comes in spurts.
Pryce Taylor doesn't put a lot on his shots, but if he stays consistent with these pot shots, it'll keep Coffie rather busy. I don't know what that was. That was a turning around and running away.
Pryce Taylor is unique in the ring.
Yeah, he does like to clown a lot.
The referee can warn you for that.
Yeah, his last fight against Sims, there was some odd behavior. Now, Coffie switches to lefty, intriguingly, and he has done that from time to time in the past.
And he takes a good right hand from Taylor in the process.
Yeah, that kind of opened up the right hand for Taylor. And a body punch there by Coffie. Halfway through this round, and this has been an interesting round 5, in which both men have gotten some things done, and Taylor's punch volume has gone down a little bit.
Coffie's landed some pretty big left hands and right hands in this round, but it's not enough. Even though he's been, he's been out for what, two years, he said, but he did have a 6 or 7 week camp, so.
Yeah, he had a lot of
shape. Yeah.
Had a lot of notice for this fight.
This round's still up for grabs, guys. I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
It can still be won here with a minute left.
A little under a minute left to go, and Coffie's fought most of this round as a lefty. Taylor getting in a nice right hand, and not as much activity from Taylor in this round, and Coffie pushing him against the ropes.
Nice little uppercuts there by Taylor, 3 of them popping that head back. You see, trying to create some room there.
So round 5 in this heavyweight matchup will pass into the night, and it was an intriguing one, and this fight is actually becoming kind of an intriguing effort between the undefeated young Pryce Taylor and the veteran Michael Coffie. Well, speaking of heavyweights, rising sensation Moses Ituama returns on January 24th to take on good veteran Jermaine Franklin in the main event of Queensberry's magnificent 7-card at Manchester's Co-op Live. Ituama looks to continue his rise in the heavyweight division, and you can see that live and exclusively on DAZN. So young Pryce Taylor, who is still a little bit away from being the kind of sensation that Ituama is, but is undefeated at 9-0 and at age 29, wants to start making his move. Hopes tonight will be a springboard to that, but he has, against the veteran Coffie, has faced an immovable object, even though Taylor has had some very good moments in this fight.
Coffie now trying to walk Taylor down, even if he can apply mental pressure.
Body work and left hooks by Coffie and a jab as Taylor gets stuck on the ropes, but has countered pretty well off the ropes.
Yeah, Coffie keeps eating those uppercuts that Taylor throws on the inside. He keeps doing it at short range. And being pretty successful there, fighting off the ropes.
Yeah. Very much so.
And Taylor does find those openings.
Tries to change it up, jab to the body, go back on top, and just be more creative with the combinations than Coffie.
The edge and hand speed to Taylor big, and there's a straight right hand by Taylor, who's landed a number of those. And Coffie trying to work on the inside, and again marshaling his resources to punch when he can. But those uppercuts on the inside from Pryce Taylor, very, very effective. And he has scored several knockdowns in his career with that punch.
Oh, big attempt there. Every once in a while, Coffie comes out and unloads a big shot and lets Taylor know he's there. Even if he doesn't land it, Taylor has to be aware.
Yeah, and that big right hand a round or two ago, but landed perfectly, but Taylor was able to take it and even do some drama over it.
See Taylor again, he's not expending a lot of energy. This is where Coffie kind of lets Taylor off the hook a little bit, and why Taylor always seems to have enough energy to win the rounds. Coffie fights in spots, and Taylor never fights at full throttle. He's a lot of pot shotting, a lot of soft touches that are scoring points.
Coffie thought his experience would be a big edge in this fight, and it won't manifest itself unless he can do a little more offensively. Overhand right and a left by Pryce Taylor. So when he does get his hands moving, it's been effective.
Yeah, good activity there. Like you said, every time he moves his hands, he lands some good combinations. Just beats Coffie to the punch. Yeah, I see Coffie as the bigger, possibly stronger guy. If I was him, I would use his size, apply more mental pressure and come forward with his hands up and more body shots and try to push Taylor back.
Well, seconds remaining here in round number 6 of this scheduled 8-rounder, and Pryce Taylor, the 29-year-old, has had a pretty good 6 rounds for himself. And we've got a couple more left to go in this heavyweight encounter. We head into round number 7, and if you're wondering, that man, Pryce Taylor, has been 8 rounds once in his last fight against Robert Sims, and Coffie has actually been 10 rounds in a loss to Jonathan Rice, so he has been longer than the 8-round limit. But right now, it seems Coffie is the more fatigued fighter, though they're battling it out on the inside now. Coffie 39 And he and Pryce Taylor are exchanging in
Good
a
exchange
brawl
there.
on the inside.
And I believe this is where Taylor needs to pick it up, and he's doing the right thing. I mean, he's in great shape. He said he was ready to go 12 rounds, even 15 rounds. So it's the time right now to.
Do they make you go 15 anymore?
If he's in that kind of shape, I think he could overwhelm Coffie. But I question whether he's actually in that kind of shape.
You know, just I think a lot of punches and bunches, and you know, here and there, a power shot and more.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If he was in that kind of shape, I think we'd see it. I don't think he's in that kind of shape.
Yeah, he's not consistent in his, consistent in his effort as he would probably want to be, and that's always been an issue.
Because Coffie gives you a lot of empty spots where if you were in that kind of shape, you could sort of take over and possibly drive him into a fatiguing stoppage, so to speak, because Coffie is not looking at it to fight at that pace.
Now, Coffie, we mentioned after a 2-year layoff at age 39 coming in here, we're now into the 7th round, and while he thought later in the fight he might do better, for the most part, it seems that he's been a little more fatigued, though he's coming forward now in this round and banging away to the body. The inside work of Pryce Taylor, I have to say, very impressive.
Yeah, very fast and slick and short with his shots. You know, he's not opening up when he does that inside work.
Yeah, he doesn't put a lot of weight on them, but I like the selection of punches. He does get creative with that.
Yeah, you are 100% right, Paulie. A lot of arm punches from Pryce Taylor, and that's something I think they probably are, working on to try and get him to pronate a great uppercut. He has thrown that punch a lot in this fight. We're under a minute left to go in round 7 of this 8-rounder. Pryce Taylor making the most of this 7th round in every conceivable way.
See, I feel like, Paulie, you said he was placing his shots, but see, then he's turning them now. I think he's sitting more on his shots now, looking to really hurt Coffie.
Some brief
punches like he's on weary sometimes, isn't it weird?
Almost like he's slapping or something.
Yeah, meantime he's been punching like that the whole fight. So usually you see that when guys are tired.
Yeah, it looks like he's it looks like he's working. I mean, he keeps throwing those uppercuts, Al. Those uppercuts all night long.
Very effective. Well, round 7 comes to a close, and it has been a good round for Pryce Taylor. He's landed a lot of punches of a great variety, and we're heading into the final round of this heavyweight battle.
Yeah, right shots here, combinations there, but Pryce Taylor, you see him getting underneath the shots of Coffie and then coming back and countering. And the reason he's able to do this is, again, he's not putting all the weight behind the shots, so he's able to put shots together. Some of them get smothered. Again, I think he can tighten it up just a little bit, but either way, when he's because he's not applying all the force on the shots, he's able to sort of change the direction of the punches really quickly and get a bit creative with them. But as Raul was saying before, I do think that at times he could put a little more muscle on some of those shots, the in-between punches of the combination, because what those touch shots do, those little snappy shots do, is they create openings for a bigger shot, which you would think eventually you would end up throwing. But he's just sort of kept it simple with these kind of pot shotty type of combinations.
We head into the final round. 29-year-old Pryce Taylor in the red trunks, 9-0, 6 KOs, coming in here after a unanimous decision win over Robert Sims, has performed at a higher level than in that fight against veteran Michael Polite-Coffie, the 39-year-old former Marine who, after a 2-year layoff, comes back to the ring to take on this young heavyweight lion. Big hook by Coffie. He's trying to crank that up and going to the body as well. This may be his last gasp offensively, huh?
Yeah, that's where Coffee's trying to, impose his will. He uses size, and it's working. It's working. I think Taylor might be a little bit gassed, guys. Oh, nice shot, nice little angle there by Coffie. Still applying the pressure, coming forward. Why couldn't he do that maybe 2 rounds back?
Yeah.
He's being very successful here in the first minute of the last round. But he's winded too, Paulie.
Yeah. Well, he's got on the table for now. It's around 8, right? So it's like, I might as well give it a go.
Coffie trying some offense here in this round, some of it being effective, some not. And both men with a measured pace here.
He's catching him with that jab. Coffee's catching Taylor with that jab. Stabbing to the body now and trying to set up that right hand. He's trying to make something happen.
You always wonder with fights like this, how important is it for a prospect to finish strong in a fight, even if they're not going to get a knockout? Is it important for them to leave that lasting impression in people's minds?
I think it's important, you know, but then again, it all depends if you feel you're comfortable ahead and you find a big, strong guy that's still coming at you, you know, why not stick to just boxing him and staying on the outside and just win the round that way?
Well, there's no question Taylor is likely ahead in this fight.
And Taylor's in a little bit of a groove again.
Yeah. Boy, has he landed uppercuts in this fight or what?
Yeah, he finds the space done very nicely.
Yeah.
I call that the buffet of uppercuts. You know, I don't know how many uppercuts he landed.
Yeah, a lot.
At short range, you know, like he knows how to fight the inside.
Yeah, throwing him in the right place at short range. Half a minute left in the round, and Michael Coffie trying to make something happen here. He is still competing in this fight and has all the way through. He just has not been able to land or throw the volume of punches necessary to change this fight, and his power punches, when they land, have not hurt Taylor. So Pryce Taylor and Michael Coffie will go the full 8 rounds and leave it in the judges' hands. Well, Ring 6 is going to take place on January 31st, New York City. Really good fight as Teofimo Lopez puts his WBO and ring titles on the line against the undefeated Shakur Stevenson, who's making the jump to 140 pounds to add a championship. He hopes a 4th weight class for him, but Teofimo Lopez has something to say about that. That's live and exclusive on DAZN. So Pryce Taylor awaits the verdict here. I think he probably feels he's done enough to win a decision. And for 39-year-old Michael Coffie, he gets through the 8 rounds. And after this 2-year layoff, in some ways, that's an achievement. Well, Pete Trevino's in the center of the ring. Let's go to him now.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put a big round of applause together for both of the boxers in the center of the ring. After 8 rounds of heavyweight action, we read the judges' scorecards. Judge DeYoung scores the matchup 79-73. And Judge Santino and Judge Schmidt are in agreement and score this matchup 80-72. All for your winner by unanimous decision. The price is right, Taylor.
So Pryce Taylor gets his 10th win as a professional. Has to go the distance to do it, but nonetheless, he controlled the tempo of this fight and landed lots of good combinations and some very good power punches.
Yeah, it was good work. You know, great experience for Taylor. He needs that kind of work, especially for an up-and-coming heavyweight.